Our two guests in this half hour are people who've already gone out and done heroic things already today. You and I, what have we done? Not that much. Sat around in warm places and talked to other people. But Dawn Mason, right here, an officer at the bank, the mother of 4 teenage boys, has been out in the woods hunting deer today. This person right here, Dawn.
Hey.
A man whose job it is to be out in the woods because he writes about sports, he writes about hunting and fishing, and also all high school sports for the Bemidji Pioneer. Mr. Pat Miller is here.
Hey, Pat.
It's not about necessarily getting your deer. It's about the experience. It's about being out there. You had a good time out there.
Absolutely.
Admit it.
Oh, yeah.
Admit it.
Well, you betcha.
It was a wonderful time.
What was it like out there? You went out with your husband, or?
Yep, went out with hubby this morning.
Mm-hmm.
It's very gray out today, so
Yeah.
everything was white, but the trees were pretty until they started dropping snow down my back.
And how far did you have to go? I mean, you don't need to tell us exactly where.
We hunt in some private land just east of 10 Strike on some walking trails, and it's about a half hour away from home.
So what time did you get up and out today?
We left right about legal hunting time at 6:30 because it was still pretty dark and didn't want to hurt myself getting out to the stand.
I see. So, the stand. You're up in a tree.
Yes, way up in a tree.
Way up? How far? How'd you get up there?
Well, actually, hubby took pity on me just a few years ago and bought a ladder stand so I don't have to try to shinny up the tree on those little metal spikes anymore.
But you could if you needed to.
If I had to, yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So you saw all sorts of things out there. What, squirrels and birds? And
Chickadees and nuthatches, and the red squirrels were very busy today.
And that was rewarding in itself.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Deer?
Well, that's a sad story. Saw lots of tracks.
You saw lots of tracks. Mm-hmm. Are deer aware that this is hunting season?
After about 15 minutes in the hunting season, they're pretty much aware.
They are. Okay. I see. So gunshots, they just put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, the ones that survive pretty much do that.
Okay. All right. So where were you, Pat?
I hunt on public land between Black Duck and S Lake. Mm-hmm. As a crow flies, it's 24 miles from my house according to my GPS, but it takes over an hour to drive to it.
What were you wearing when you went out this morning, and what time did you get going?
Oh, I woke up at 4. I left the house at 5. I made it to the hunting territory at 6:10, and I was in the tree by 6:30.
Wearing what?
As much blaze orange as I possibly could have on.
Right, of course. Layers of clothing?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Lots.
Although it was really nice out there today.
Oh, it was? Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Were we in the same state?
It was 32 degrees or so, about.
Oh, okay, fine. I mean, when I went to bed last night, I looked outdoors and I thought, boy, I'm glad I'm not going out with these people. Nobody invited me. If you had invited me, I would feel obligated to go, but I was glad that you didn't.
Do you want to go tomorrow?
Oh, yes, of course. So you saw deer?
I did not see deer. I saw tracks underneath my stand, and what really is giving me encouragement for tomorrow is that I saw, when I left my stand, that there was a deer that spent last night 20 yards from my stand under a spruce tree.
I see. Okay. What, browsing or what?
No, sleeping.
Sleeping? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you chose the right place. Well, tell us about the first deer you ever got in your life. Dawn, you went hunting with your father when you were a kid?
Oh, no. Dad said it, and I do quote, "That is no place for a young lady." So I actually got into deer hunting late, and I got into it for revenge because they ate my tulips. So I came to it late. Thank you. It's a sad story, but this year I'm lamenting because the only buck I have ever seen armed with a rifle was the very first day I was in a stand armed with a rifle.
Wait a minute, you saw a buck armed with a rifle?
When I was armed.
Oh, you were
When
armed.
I was armed with the rifle. And unfortunately, he was an old wily one, and I was a new hunter, and I never got my gun off safety. He kind of ran across the field through the swamp, turned sideways, shook off, looked at me, and thumbed his deer nose at me and wandered off. So that's my sad buck story.
First deer you got?
Came just shortly after the buck disappeared into the woods. A doe came out, and I got that one.
You did?
Got a big scope cut, too.
This is a delicate question, but I'll ask it anyway. You field dress your own deer?
Do I feel what?
Do you feel dressed right now?
Well, not in blaze orange.
You clean the deer.
Oh, yes, absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes, and cook it.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Wanted to ask, because if I were to go out hunting with you, I'd need some help. You know that.
Yep.
What's it like field dressing a deer?
In one word, messy.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that takes care of that. Your first deer, Pat.
My first one in 2005, Sunday morning, 7:10, in the rain, in the mist, in the fog. This deer came out of the woods about 35 yards away. I waited for it to walk down the trail so I could get a clear shot at it, and darned if it didn't give me a broadside, and I popped it, and it went 15 yards, and I looked up, and it had 9 points on it, and I says, wow. That's a pretty good one to start with.
So where are these antlers right now?
They are at my deer stand.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Because I use them for rattling.
So you lure deer by rattling that guy's antlers, huh?
That's the theory, anyway.
Okay. All right. Well, good. It's anticipation of success, which is the beautiful thing, right? It's being outdoors.
That's the best part.
Going outdoors is a necessity if you live in a cold part of the country.
Well, it sure as heck makes it a lot easier to survive up here.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing, is you have to find something you love to do outdoors, and then you'll be okay. That and dress warmly. Thank you, Don Mason. Thank you, Pat Miller.